them to lose all of it.
You forego the ability to even ask.
Right.
Mr. Merritt, this is part of our emergency management plan. A lot of people don't even know we have one. But me and Perry do that as part of our jobs. To plan for this kind of disasters, the health department, EMS, we're all together. We're all working together. So we're all trying to figure out ways that the government they give us these different ways. If you declare this, these funds can come back to you. It may take a year, but if you don't have this declared, you're not gonna be able to receive these until you have that declared. So just like they said, if you work a week overtime, so you heard, just like Perry said, they work 15-hour days. If we don't declare this now, we're gonna lose out on that 15 day hours for a week that we could be getting possibly funds back from the government.
The clock's ticking right now.
Yeah. So
We did this
It's
in
nothing-
2011, by the way, for the wildfires.
Yeah.
We did this in 2011. It's been so long now, I can't tell you how much, but I'm wanting to say it's about $68,000 came back to the county and city.
Right.
But we filed through the county, and then the city was able to attach their portion of it. But I may have doubled that number, maybe 34,000, but it's a significant amount of money that we got back from the fire season in 2011. And it's the same principle now.
and that paid for pumps and stuff that we burned up on trucks and things like that. So I mean, we're not defrauding anybody or anything like that. This is a way the government gives you a chance to get your money back that we spend right now and get it back later.
Yes, sir. Jason?
Oh, it's driving me bonkers, so I gotta say. I know the health unit, I know the hospital, and I know the ambulance service has already spent funds, county funds, on this, including, but not limiting to, a significant amount of labor costs that we could be getting back as well as part of that deal. So not only are we spending money on supplies and PPE but we're spending a lot of man hours on planning and getting plans together and responses, not only us, dispatch is involved, the sheriff's department dispatch. So you've got a whole gamut of people that's already spending money. So I wouldn't tarry too much longer.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we'll discuss that immediately after the meeting.
Yes, sir. And I've got the state guy in Abilene, he'll be on the phone.
Because you can declare an emergency without court order
Yes.
on attention. That's what it needs to be right now anyway.
Right. So, but for now, we need to consider limiting or closing public access to these facilities.
Judge, it wasn't mentioned in there this morning. We already took action and we closed down every public restroom in all of our parks. And UIL is suspended, so there won't be anything on Moffett or Kate's. But we've got Little League and girls softball coming up. They're practicing now. I feel like we ought to shut those fields down for 2 weeks so we can tell these people now, look, you're gonna be closed at least for 2 weeks.
Right.
Same with me,
I
we're in the
don't
middle of soccer season and parents are already wanting to know, what, do we show up for practice? Do we still
Right.
come? Are we playing games?
Mhm.
What's happening?
And if y'all decide to do that, it'd be nice if the news media would put that in the paper so all these leagues could know it's not there.
When do those leagues start?
I'm not sure. Little League, Farm League probably was gonna start practicing this week. but
We were
it's
supposed
too
to
wet.
start today, but I believe, because I got a text from our coach and they were talking about pushing the start back on Little League till April 1st
Okay.
for the first game, opening games, but practice and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure that they're probably looking at changing that up still.
I think all suspension of Little League activities is April 6th, of all practices and games till April 6th.
Until April 6th.
Is that what you think, or is that a fact?
Right here.
Okay, fact. Good.
And when you say county court, are you talking all the county courts, or are you just talking, are you talking JP courts, the whole nine yards?
Right. Well, we've suspended county court because we have so many people that show up. It's more than, sometimes it's 50 people, sometimes it's a little less, but I would suggest the same for JP courts. Sure would. I would say whatever events y'all might have too going on. Do you have
We're,
anything in the
we're
next
pretty
couple of
good
weeks?
through this month. We'll have some middle of April, and I just figure we would wait to hear from the court. They're family reunions.
Right.
And if the president keeps his restrictions on, of course, we'll have to call those people. And then later on, yeah, there's the car show.
Right.
Hopefully we're out of this by then, 4th of July. So we'll just have to take it, our lead from y'all, or the president.
And that's what we're doing, is to lead from feds, state and other counties, and we'll see what they're doing.
So what we're doing today, as I understand, it's effective till April 6th.
No, that was just.
That was a Little League.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
Little League, yeah. Now, our next meeting isn't until April 7th.
Have one tomorrow, but then after.
Right. Yeah, our next meeting after tomorrow is April 7th. So that's something to consider. Would we want to have another meeting? That's about 3 weeks away. So do we want to do it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Do we want to do 2 weeks at all? What do you want to?
Well,
It's cool, mother. If we get a bunch of people here affected, we might go 2 weeks. But if we're not, go 3 weeks. Can you do that?
and you do it a week at a time. I realize that's pain. And see what, let's just say we do it today. See what Friday brings, which I know that's kind of jerking everybody's chain. Closing it for 3 weeks for good is
Yeah.
cutting the chain. So, I mean, there's not a good way to do it.
Right.
And to even remotely keep it from doing what happened in tomorrow at lunch, China, they get the big peak. If we can stay out of that, when it starts to subside, it will subside quickly without that peak. So,
Are they suggesting 2 weeks or 1 week, or is there any
2 weeks.
suggestions?
Actually, CDC is suggesting 8 weeks.
8
It's
weeks.
what they're actually suggesting per guidelines right now.
Right.
If at all possible. 2 weeks is pretty much the minimum that they're suggesting at this point.
That's what the president has on
2
his
weeks.
deal, is 15 days to slow the spread. So 2 weeks.
We could come back in 2 weeks, a week before that April 7th meeting, and revisit it.
Judge,
Yes,
can I
ma'am.
just say, our average daily attendance right now is 101 per day.
Yes.
And so that's obviously more than the required gathering, but, we have discussed as a staff, like, measures to help the kids not spread to their families and whatnot, offering to take the kids out to their cars instead of having parents come into the building
Mhm.
and whatever. But I don't know what, if there's a plan in place for what, a lot of our kids are fed dinner
Sure.
with us, and I think that there's some that wouldn't get dinner if we didn't do dinner. That's why I didn't, when budget cuts were happening, I didn't do away with our dinner program. So
Right.
is there
And that's
there
something
plans in
that,
place to help with what we do for the kids outside of,
yeah,
you
and
know?
that actually came up right before this meeting. Health and safety changed guidelines for youth centers and childcare. So they're suggesting that everybody that goes in has to get checked. If they have a fever and cough and all of the symptoms, and they're asked if they've traveled. My thought was, you get a kid that comes up to you and says they have a fever, they've got the cough, they've traveled, they just infected you if you're checking their fever. So that takes that person out.
And many times, and it happens historically every year, after Christmas break and after spring break, we have a ton of kids come in sick. They're coughing, they're throwing up, they have fever, we don't feel good, can you call my
Right.
mom? And so, you know, they've already been in the gym for an hour when they come tell us, I don't feel good, and we
Right.
check them and they, you know, have this raging fever.
Right,
So
and then it's already spread.
then
to
it's all over.
Everybody
yeah.
else. So is there a way to get the meals to the kids without them actually coming into the building?
Other than,
Could you not have the parents drive up and then just
yeah,
have the
handing them out the
videos?
back door.
Currently, ISD
Yeah.
just posted that that's what they are going to do for tomorrow for lunch and for
Yeah.
Wednesday breakfast. If they will contact the drive up and they'll bring them out to their,
Right,
for the children who need breakfast and lunch.
yeah,
But,
and
yeah.
kind of the same thing for the senior center. I know y'all feed a lot at lunch. Would it be possible for people to drive up and maybe bring the meals out to them?
I mean, we could.
Is
It's
it,
just hard to know how much to cook because you don't know how many people you're gonna have.
yeah,
So, I mean, we kind of have a good count when we're open, but
right, yes, sir.
If 14 days is recommended for this procedure, is that actually enough time to allow for these policies to be enforced? We don't know that this is the germs, we don't know that they're gonna die in 14 days. Would another week extension?
And that's what we'll look at. What I was thinking was we could do it for 2 weeks and come and look at it again in 2 weeks and see where we're at and see if we need to extend it or if we just need to.
These numbers are changing daily,
Yeah.
rapidly.
Yeah, and the more tests that they're doing whole lot more testing now. They just released all these testing. And so the more tests you have, the more positives you're gonna have. So, that's just, yes, ma'am.
If they do go to those meals, they need to do strictly disposable because this is droplet
Mhm.
and we don't want to take any chances on anything coming back in to infect our facilities.
Well, I know Road and Bridge and Parks Department, we're not around a lot of people.
Right.
What about the people in the courthouse that have day-to-day
My
contact
office,
with
we
everyone?
have at least
My office, we
100
clean.
a day.
Right.
I mean, on average,
I understand. How do we limit that? What do we,
and we're constantly back and forth, money, papers, people
Yeah.
standing right over you, coughing.
I've wondered about this one too. What do we do on this one? What do we do for your office? Do you have any ideas?
I've thought about it, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to do. To make it, we talked about wearing gloves, but to make it effective, you're gonna have to change
Change the
gloves,
gloves.
wipe the computer, wipe everything down after each customer that walks
Right.
in the door.
And wearing a mask? I mean,
And we
you're
have,
already
yeah,
in
we have
shortage.
people lined out the door.
Yeah.
Most of the time anyway.
We're gonna, on Hermley Water,
Mhm.
that's usually the people that we see the most, is we're gonna ask those that can to mail a check or
Mhm.
mail their payment, maybe a money order. Of course, we're still gonna have some that will bring in cash
Sure.
because they just do.
Mhm.
That's the only thing, really the only traffic that we see.
Right. On
Every
average,
day.
how many people do y'all have a day?
Us,
Mhm.
well, you know, some days it might be 50, some days it might be 150, 200. I mean, it just depends. You can never, first of the month, end of the month, you're gonna count at least 100 a day, at least.
Right.
Maybe even more than that. And then other days, it varies.
I don't know that there's a good answer.
Could you stop them at that first door and maybe put up some plexiglass and work them from there? See what they need, go back to your desk?
I mean, you only have one doorway,
Yeah.
you would have people lined up.
Well,
But I mean, even 6 foot, the 6 foot in our, at our counter,
That's at the door.
it's right in the center of the
Yeah.
counter, but you can't hand paperwork. I mean,
Right.
they'll be throwing the paperwork across the room,
Right.
you know? I need to title this vehicle.
We need to put you up a sneeze guard. I mean,
Sneeze guard.
yeah, really, on top of y'all's counter. Leave a gap in it, the bottom. Where when they're talking to you, they're not spitting on you.
Yeah.
I mean, that would help some. It ain't gonna stop what you hand them, but, as far as that goes. He's talking about immediate, something you could do, that would be actually fairly quick for the right person.
You can find the right person. to get in there, put it in.
I was looking at it.
Like the DPS office, they're extending other people that are, their driver's licenses are
The vehicle registration and stuff.
on their, the DPS office is
That would be
extending.
according to law enforcement, you know?
I think we could get something built fairly quickly if you wanted to go that route. I don't know how much that protection that would give. It'd be better than no protection that we have now.
That was just a thought.
What do you think, Dana? Any ideas on that?
It's droplet, as I said, that would be a great start. But you're still going to have to keep everything clean, sanitized. You're still handling dirty money that people have sneezed on and coughed on. So you're still going to have to take procedures and take precautions.
What about the letters and checks that they send through the mail? How long does it last
It
on
could be
that?
that it's still, on
Same
some
thing.
surfaces, it's living up to 3 to 5 days now, is what they're saying.
How long will it take ultraviolet light to kill it? Or will it kill? Do you even have any idea?
We don't know yet. They're still testing everything, just to kind of get basic information.
Does hand sanitizer kill it?
Supposedly, yes, supposedly it will. Lysol spray will supposedly kill it. Soap and water is still your number one go-to.
I was talking to a pharmacist who said if hand sanitizer wasn't wet for at least 2 or 3 minutes, that it wouldn't kill it.
It has to be at 60% alcohol, and you also have to rub, you have to rub your hands. It's the whole thing that we were supposed to have learned in kindergarten that I don't think we did. But as I said, basically soap and water, that's the best thing that they can recommend for right now.
Isn't that for 20 seconds at least?
Yes.
So you gotta sing happy birthday to yourself or
Twice.
something?
Exactly.
Sing it twice.
Say 4 prayers.
Mm-hmm. I like that one better.
Has anybody had any of the departments, anybody that's gone out of state? Vacation or spring break or anything?
No, but how many people went to the Rattlesnake Roundup? And there was a lot of people there.
Our whole softball team from the school went to San Marcos.
Ah.
The entire school softball
I don't
team.
think San Marcos is a hot spot though.
San Antonio is. We've got one case that's.
Well, they're not asking yet about inside U.S. travel on the CDC. It's coming,
District put out a survey and they asked.
Yeah.
As far as our patrons,
Mhm.
there's no telling.
That's us.
Right.
That walked in the door, who knows?
Yes, sir.
I'm just still reading some of Trump's speech just now, but they're, he didn't say when, but it looks like they're gonna quarantine all the hotspots.
Okay.
I don't know if that will be citywide, countywide, portions of cities. It's gonna continue to get worse.
Well, I would say that a minimum 2 weeks, and then do anything you can to lessen the chance of you getting coughed on, whatever, like y'all's office. And, but that's, you gotta start somewhere, and then if you, after this meeting, when you and Perry visit with the other counties, feel you need to, you don't need our permission for you to declare emergency anyway. I'd say you do it, my opinion.
I agree.
So can I ask a question just for clarification? Is that motion, for lack of a better term, to all out of courthouse institutions? Boys and Girls Club, Senior Citizen Center, Armory, is that included in that 2 weeks? Just so we're clear, so that everybody in the community is
Yeah,
clear.
I
Not
understand.
the EMS or the law enforcement.
No, that's why I'm asking that question. I want to
On
be
the
clear so
central.
everybody's on the same page.
Of course,
About the
I mean, if you stop and look at it, you get the airport. Y'all got people flying in.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. I might be getting ahead of myself, but we've done everything in precaution to wiping down the windows and the doors and the knobs in the bathrooms. And we hadn't run short on toilet paper yet.
You're the only one.
You know, we have pilots that coming in there.
Yeah.
That they're gonna be hard to maintain.
Right.
You know, and tell them these things. Some of them don't understand it either.
Right.
But they don't know what they're getting into, and so.
Well, and my main concern on the airport was if we had something at one of the hangars, a large gathering like we do on
Yeah.
occasion, I didn't know when I drafted that, what was on your agenda. Same way with the Army, I didn't know if there was something planned where you're gonna have 100 people in a hangar or not, so we put it on there just to discuss it. So is there anything like that planned in the next 2 weeks?
That's right, they are.
There is?
There's planes in the minor.
No, plans for a big gathering in one of the hangars.
Oh, well, a lot of times, those pilots, those pipeline pilots, they'll come in there and there'll be 6 or 8 of them in there at one time.
But not 100, you don't have any?
No, not no 100. No, the most we ever have maybe is 20, 25. Very seldom that many, except on Sunday morning in their pilot's lounge. Sometimes they'll get, that's where the bull gets pretty deep in that time. But their little pilots meeting, there'll be several of them in there for that, but other than
I
that.
think if it gets to more than 10, might be something you would discourage at that point.
Because I don't see how you can shut the airport down.
No. No, but I think if it got to where you had 20 or 25 people in there, tell them, you know, they need to break it up.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be that many in there,
Right.
you know, 'cause, you know, well, Sean's been out there on Sunday mornings a lot of times and, you know, there's not 10, 12, 15
Right.
at most.
Okay.
But as far as, I mean, because what we're looking at, with the youth center, the senior citizen center, the library.
Darla, do you have any tournaments coming up?
I have a junior high girls tournament coming up the 23rd.
I think have they canceled those?
UIL.
After March
I
30th.
don't have anything,
Okay.
and we're outside, you know, this is predominantly
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
And most everybody has their own card,
Mhm.
and if they share a card with someone, it's someone they know, they
Right.
only have.
But it's not like a group of 40 or 50 people. I
No.
think if it was a tournament and everybody was gathered in one spot at
Right,
one
no,
time,
I
that would
don't
be
have
the only
anything
issue.
else on the agenda for this month.
Okay.
But, you know, I have people coming in, but I've Lysoled everything down and sprayed money
Right.
and everything
Usually
else, so,
1 or 2 or 3 or 4 at a time.
yeah. It's just not, you know, I don't have a big gathering. They
Right.
come in and pay,
Mhm.
and then they're back outside.
Right.
And so there's not ever more than 10 people hardly in there at
Right.
one time.
Okay. Sorry about that, Sean.
Oh, that's all right.
I had to verify
We're
that.
looking at youth center.
But I don't, it's the, where you have big crowds, it's the biggest concern.
So you think the golf course is good?
I would think, just my personal opinion, because you are outside, you don't have a place to theoretically have a party.
No.
So, I mean,
I think as long as there's not a tournament or anything like that.
Yeah,
you know,
because
it's just
of the-
individuals here and there.
and since UIL's canceled everything, you're not gonna have the junior
They
high.
won't have junior high
We
tournament,
might,
so
we
that's-
might be
Right.
towards maybe on the downhill by then.
Yeah.
Before any of it comes up.
I don't have anything else until May. The Christian school is in May.
Okay.
Okay. Anything at the health department that we need to be concerned with? Do y'all need to do
Just
anything different?
immunization clinic, because I do want to keep doing that, because
Mhm.
we really don't need the children getting something else on top of this, because they're not up to date. We can monitor that with ours, and we're actually, the way we're enclosed, we already have the window, we already have everything in place.
Right.
So we can keep account and make sure how many we have in our waiting room,
Mhm.
and make sure that it's cleaned, and we still need to operate, but we will definitely, we're going to decrease our numbers right now.
Okay.
And if they are not already behind on their shots, we're not going to do them for these 2 weeks. We're going to do everything we can to keep everybody out there we can.
And as far as the armory, Larry, what do you,
We're good. We don't have anything, we'd have to take out of there till, March and hope we're through that. So other than just not having people come in there, which there'd be no reason for anybody to be in there.
won't be no big deal then?
No big deal. The bathrooms I would suggest that we shut down Little League and Farm League for play until further notice from y'all.
So basically what we'd be looking at is a youth center, senior citizen center, and a library.
What you say about the senior citizen center a while ago? It will have the Meals on Wheels
Yes.
and the other.
And if they can have them, if they show up to get meals, what do you think of that, Tammy?
Logistically, I'm just not sure.
Right.
I mean, we'd have to just send it out the back door, let them come up to the back door, but, we're gonna have to figure out what to cook and what not, how much to cook
How
and,
much to cook? All right.
I mean, I'll do it, I'm just not quite sure logistically how, I mean, we'll try it and see if people come. Then they come and, we serve at 12.
Right.
I don't wanna be serving, for 2 or 3 hours, they'd have to be there at 12, get a styrofoam tray and leave, so.
Right. See, that's our highest risk group.
Right, yeah,
So-
no, I'll put a thing out and we'll do that, and do our home delivered meals.
And you can try,
Yeah, we'll
see-
try and see what
see
happens.
Right.
I don't want to sound stupid, but what about the public bathrooms in all these buildings? Hundreds of people use them and some
Right.
poor old Joe's gotta go in there and clean it every day.
Yeah.
That's why we're closing hours.
Sure. I mean, I don't know that I want to go as far as closing public bathrooms.
I know like in the courthouse, the employees have, they're separate, but
That's the only place we can wash hands.
Right.
That poor old Joe's name is Sally.
yeah. Mine's called Susan.
I think you can take it too far.
Yeah.
Also.
You're talking about droplets, and so you're gonna go in, if you're gonna clean a bathroom, you already have gloves on, and
Well, you hope.
so, it's your own fault if you don't. And go in and, I really don't understand y'all closing in the parks, because
Well, when you defecate on everything except the ceiling,
they're gonna do that anyway.
not if it's locked.
I'm talking about whether it's coronavirus or,
We have to go in there with water hoses and spray ours down.
you still can.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. There's people that's gonna be out in the park that aren't in large gatherings that are gonna need a restroom.
Yeah, but what about if this thing starts spreading, it's gonna be in those bathrooms. And children, older people, they're not gonna go in there with rubber gloves and hazmat suit.
No.
So that's why I'm saying just for the time being, it's inconvenience, but, just
They can do that at Walmart, or
probably do.
very inconvenient for someone that has a problem. I don't.
And if we want to, keep crowds down, that's what, we don't have toilets in the park for 2 weeks. Cause you're gonna have 50, 60 people gathering to play something out there. But I think that's just something I think, I don't want my people exposed in that manner. We can mow grass and do all kinds of other things, but I'm telling you, we clean it up, everything except the ceiling, and sometimes we have to work down the ceiling. Every day.
Greg and Rhonda, y'all have anything going on?
We do, but AgriLife has already asked us for this week to cancel all of our activities and go virtual.
Right.
We can do virtual things with our kids, so archery and photography can cancel. Because
Okay.
archery is a large group.
Right.
Photography is about 10 to 15.
Right.
So for this week, AgriLife has asked us to do that, and then we're just waiting. They're gonna reevaluate on the 19th.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Dan,
Yes, ma'am.
for me on Thursday, and I'm gonna have to talk to Mike, we have a full day of truancies. Now, that doesn't mean we have a big masses of people that we have scheduled times and like 30-minute increments of a parent with kids. And so, and then when they leave, we have two or three other little groups in the hall. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because it takes a lot to get a truancy court date between the school notification, Mike being available. We have to send out summons where literally the deputies have to hand deliver these summons to these students and parents, because if I mail them, nobody, will accept them. So, like I said, of course, Mike, I'll need to get with you to see how you feel about that. For Thursday, we have a full day.
I haven't looked at the document. We can talk after we get finished.
Okay, well, what I'm getting at is if there's something being said about groups of people, I will be having groups of people there.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying is that some of the parents may come out and say, we're not going, and I can take some action if they say they're not going, where the sheriff's office goes to get a parent and a child, you bring them to court. But I'm not saying I'm gonna have 50 or 60 people, but I'm just saying truancy court takes a lot to schedule something that day.
Sure, I understand. How many do you have on your docket?
We probably we're hearing cases like from 9:30 till about 3 o'clock at 30 to 45 minute increments. So I don't know how many right now, but that's the only reason I'm bringing it up is because I'm gonna try to have it, if possible, and I'll be visiting with Mike, like you said, but
Okay.
I will have people in and out that day.
Well, they're, I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think? Was that your motion?
Yeah, best
You
I
said-
remember it, yes.
Library.
Sorry,
Youth Center, Senior Center, Library,
Yes,
and any other big events.
yeah, and I hate to do that, but we can either do it now or suffer later.
Right.
If we don't.
Okay. Till when? Till 2 weeks from? You abstain. All right.
And while we're talking right now, there's somebody here that knows, probably Larry. James Bond hollered at me earlier, the fish-a-thon's coming up in the park.
Yeah.
April, just a minute.
Yeah. He left a message for me. I don't remember the date.
He,
14th?
April 18th, and his concern is it's in the park. He don't want to buy the fish if there's going to be anything, because he's got to pay for them today.
Sure.
Long story short, scheduled for April 18th, and I don't know how many people take place. He's curious about. Okay,
Hundreds.
it's going to call him tomorrow. He's just trying to plan ahead, and I said, I will let you know. So, just a little guidance for him.
Right now, I don't know that there is any planning ahead.
Well, no, but I mean, April 18th is. Okay.
Well, sure, if we wasn't out of it, surely in a few weeks after that, we would be. We put up as soon as they put the fish in the pond, we allow no fishing and put signs up all around, so fish would still be there a week or two later if he wants to do it that way.
Okay. Well, I told him I would ask, so I asked. So basically, proceed as this, if it is the 18th. And is everybody good with that? Dana, you see a problem with that?
Not for right now, but as I said, it's subject to change.
Yeah.
I hope it's gone in a month. That would make
Right.
our lives so much easier, but there's no way to know right now.
Of course, as far as the fish-a-thon goes, they probably do stand 6 feet apart, don't they? I've never been there.
Oh, there's hundreds, they're lined up.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
Get right up against each other.
Well, I'm gonna tell him that and leave it up to him.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So does the staff still show up,
Yes, ma'am.
same hours?
Yes, ma'am.
What about part-time?
Do you have something that?
You wouldn't leave it open after hours like you do
No.
now.
Just that in our normal hours,
Right.
business hours are 9 to 6.
And you have part-time during the day?
We have one part-time. She's during the day, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then her late nights would have been Tuesdays and Thursdays.
You have something that she can do? If you have plenty to do, I'm not worried, she's just sitting around, but if you have something that she can do, yeah, I don't see why not. I'd hate to lose her just because she's can't work for 2 weeks. Anything else?
I have one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, like where we take the bus and she never has more than maybe 10. Well, she won't even have that many because we have people that we take for doctor's appointments and we take for, do we still go ahead if she's just picking up a couple people at a time to take them to the doctor? Do we still do that or do we not do that either?
Good question. What do you think, Dana?
If it's small amounts, anything, because that is, coronavirus is hitting our elderly, they really are.
Well, so they need to get to the doctor.
They have got to. But the thing about it
They won't
is,
go and then.
anytime that they transport someone, it needs to be cleaned thoroughly from top to bottom. And even get Jason knows better about those precautions before. I would be very careful and very selective about how it's used.
That's an awfully roundabout way of saying yes.
I work for the government.
I wasn't saying that, I'm just saying, you can take this situation, ask enough questions, and take 30 minutes to get an answer that you thought you knew to begin with, but.
Welcome to the CDC.
Yeah, that's better you than me.
Well, let's just be safe. Think about what we're doing. Think about the hand washing and touching our faces and all of that. We're out of toilet paper at all the stores, so that is what it is. I hadn't figured that one out yet.
I haven't either.
So they said it over TV the other night.
Media.
Go get old toilet
Go buy
paper.
all the toilet paper, but you can still buy soap.
Yep.
Right. Is there a motion to
Hand
adjourn?
wipes. You can still wear them, get them.
Right. All right, motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Hey, let's get out of here. I make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? All right.
You got to turn on my recorder.
I think you were recording that.
You're doodling better than I
Touch the back of your chair and then.
Oh my gosh.
Get you a squirt.
Yep. Get you a squirt of sanitizer. You see that? There's some guy.
15,000. Good, how about you?